Welcome to Eat, Sleep, Anime, the show that happens as frequently as All Might cries.
Oh, that's not well. No, that'd be more. I think be more apt if Midoriya cried, but then that'd be too frequent because he cries.
Exactly.
That's
I
true.
had Deku, and
Yeah,
I was like, no, he cries too much.
that's true.
Cries way too much. Guys, my name is Zach Dykes. I am joined with my good friend and co-host Derek Daniel, and today we are reviewing My Hero Academia Season 7. We want your thoughts. We want your opinions on this amazing,
Yeah,
pivotal season of the show. Derek, what did you think about My Hero Season 7?
man. Let me tell you. When before season 7 came out, we had a little piece of content that you guys should check out. Is we reviewed every season of My Hero Academia, and we put season 3 and 6 at the top of the at S tier, but we put season 6 number 1 because it had so much of the emotional beats and such high stakes. Well, season 7 said, "Hold my beer," because it was even more emotional and high stakes. Like you don't even like you thought that after the Dark Hero arc, like, you thought when Deku came home to roost in the nest finally after being out, staying up late, never resting, never stopping, that it's like, okay, we'll have a little chill period, which they did. One of the, we had another hero come and fight Shigaraki for a couple episodes, but then Deku had to jump right back in the fray. You know what I mean? So even like the planning, because, last time the heroes planned, when they invaded Jakku and they did like a two-pronged attack, they had somewhat of a plan, but they didn't feel fully ready because they didn't know all the variables. And yes,
Yep.
they still didn't know all the variables to the extent, but when you see them enact their plan, it felt more thought out. Again, there was a hiccup here and there, but for the most part, everything seemed to be going the hero's way this time for the most part. But then again, it flip flopped, and I feel like that creates so much of the emotional highs in the show. And man, again, toward the end, like the emotional highs were just at an all time high. Like, whew, we cried and we cried some more.
I knew going into this we were going to get the who is like the double agent within the group and everything.
Correct.
And I think they handled it so well.
Correct. And you kind of forget about it because they brought this back up in what was it, like season 2?
Yep.
Maybe like season 2, early season 3. But then they never really mention about it again until this moment. And again, it's the most unlikely person. Like you wouldn't suspect it, and it's not even one. It's not even one person. It's like a trio of people, but it all makes sense why.
The way All for One plans and just twist people, it is so good.
This was an RPG dialogue tree for a scheme, that would be All for One. Like, so, because I mean, he's just like, oh, when one branch opens, I have another one and another one and another. I'm like, bro, this is why he goes into like waiting, like sitting all that time in Tartarus. He has nothing but time to think.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, I got this. I got this.
Yeah. Oh,
And
here's another contingency plan, another contingency plan.
and like the way they show it, like in the show, it's just
Yeah.
like branching past. It reminds me of Detroit Become Human,
Oh
where
yeah,
it's like all the different things that could go on and everything.
yeah.
But the plan that they enact, the things that they're trying to do in this season, and the way things kind of kick off, we do get to see Star and Stripe.
Stripe. Yep. Which that her quirk is broken, by the way. I know it has. I know even it has a limit, but still broke.
But I loved it, and it was super cool. Like she was All Might student and everything, and the way she uses it, like when she like created like the huge version of herself and
Yeah,
just
with air, like just like, well, and like even before that, it's like suck the air out around him, and he's like trying to suffocate Shigaraki. I'm like, oh, bro, this is crazy,
yeah,
like, and then and not to bury the lead here, but just seeing like the end result of that fight, like even though she got defeated, she's still fighting. It was just with a different way, and like seeing it's
yep.
like, oh yeah, I gave a new order. This, I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. Oh, this is so brilliant. This is a different way to attack this. stockpile quirk that Shigaraki and All for One have. This is so genius.
The like seeing it just like take the toll on them was so cool, and like thinking far ahead, you know what I mean? It's like, but it has ramifications through
Oh, yeah.
majority of the season, which was really cool. And the fight that we see between Shigaraki and All for One
Yes.
is so cool, and I
Yeah.
feel like you almost could gloss over it, because there's times where it's just like you just think, oh well, this is Shigaraki, but it's like majority of the time it's All for One
Yeah.
at
And then
that
vice
point.
versa, because then when All for One fights, it's like, oh, there are times Shigaraki's popping out, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
especially at the end.
true, and but I think about the coffin in the air where Lemillion like says something, and like Shigaraki's like, I have friends, and like
Right. Is
freaking out.
Yeah, I know. Like, he's like that. And it's like you even see Shigaraki go through a change, because it's not only like him, it's like his childlike state that he's kept protected, like through All for One's brainwashing. And he's like, I had friends, they just didn't like me, and they didn't want to, like, bro, okay. Like, he just said something that didn't, like, calm down. Like,
Yeah,
somebody's a little sensitive.
yeah, and it's like Lemillion's. He's like, oh, I said something really mean, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, and like even seeing Lemillion scared, because through even losing his quirk and like coming back in like season 6, and like he always was confident even when he knew the odds were against him. But then he faced true evil, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know about this one, guys. Like, I don't know if we're gonna beat this one. Like, I'm just gonna show my peach and hope for the best."
That was like such one of those weird moments. I was just like, well, okay. You know.
We kind of jumping around. Like, we're going to get full spoiler here in a minute, guys. So,
Yeah.
but again, and like you see a bunch of different dynamic threads between certain characters, like with Uraraka and Toga, with the whole Todoroki family dynamic. Like, they know how to hit the story. Like, and again, we have one more season. Like, again, not to bury the lead here, but if this is the emotional moments we get in this one, like, imagine what next season, the last season, is going to be like. It's going to be insane, because there's like still like 30 chapters, I think, of this arc, plus the epilogue, which I think is only like maybe 8 to 12 chapters. But so yeah, still, like, we got so much in this, and it was a shorter season, like, usually, except for season 1. Each season has been 25. This was only 21, so still telling it in a shorter form, somewhat shorter form, like, still had impact in what they told. And I think where they ended the season was perfectly done, like on a cliffhanger. It's like, I need answers. I don't need you to do this to me right now. Don't get my emotions up and make me expect something happens and then just cut to black. I'm like, don't do it.
But it's so well crafted though,
It
because
is.
if they would have went longer, like the end point would have been worse. I feel like you would have
Fair.
been like in the middle of a super emotional moment, because we can feel what's about to happen.
Yeah.
We can get into some spoiler territory now. Just letting everybody know we're about to spoil stuff for season 7. So
If you haven't
don't
watched
want
it,
yeah,
tune back in after you watched it.
the way it ends with like All Might fighting All for One,
Because,
dude.
because again, you thought that, what happened to Lemillion would happen with All Might, and it was a genius thing. And I'm thinking, oh, is this about to be the big reveal? And then his car pretty much turns into a mech suit, or his this briefcase. I'm like, what is this? And then he's like using
Yeah.
all the moves like named after his students, and keeps like his car like throwing stuff at him. Like, oh, this is how he does. So basically, it's a stall. It's not All Might knows. If he gets some good licks in and damages him severely, cool. He knows he's not going to win. He's going to try.
Yep.
But he knows he's just stalling to buy Deku more time, and like for them to stop Shigaraki. And it is like, oh my god! Like, and then they show the vision back to Night Eye. It's like, you're gonna have a fight with a horrible villain and lose. I'm like, oh no! Don't play with my emotions now. Please don't do it. Don't let this be what we end on. And like I said, it cuts to black. We don't get a definitive version. Like, all you see is All Might's like, let's put an end to this, young Midoriya. And Midoriya senses that, is like, let's go, All Might. And you're like, all right, you getting pumped because you're like, oh, something's about to happen. And then fades to black. I'm like, don't you do this to me. Oh,
Like that moment where he's like fighting in the mech suit, essentially it's like,
and he's kind of holding his own. Like,
yeah.
obviously his mech suit is getting ransacked, but like when he injected him with the acid, like that did something.
And he notices like every time he takes damages that he's getting younger and younger, which of course, like the younger he's getting, he is getting more powerful because his body's becoming more agile. But to see him in action again, it is in a different form, but it is still really cool because
Mm-hmm.
if everybody doesn't know, All Might is my favorite character out of the whole show.
Yeah.
I
Not because he's
just
voiced by Chris Sabat, but
yeah, that is just icing on the cake, Derek. But to see him back in action after kind of having to be on the sidelines and depend on other people, like he is making things happen here. So that was a really awesome part. Do you want to hit Todoroki or do you want to hit the
Toga.
Uravity or Toga?
Let's do Todoroki first because that plays into some other things too. So obviously when they do this, like to kind of lead up to it, when they find out Aoyama is the spy, they use this like, and let's start there for a second, right? When they find out Aoyama's the spy and why he's doing what he's doing, it makes such perfect sense because his whole family is involved.
Hmm.
Because what didn't get revealed, which threw me for a loop, Aoyama was also quirkless. And I was like,
Hmm.
and then All for One gave him a quirk, but in return is like, you are going to feed me information, and if you don't, you're gonna die. And it's like,
Yep.
oh, okay. I think that threw me for a loop. That which is why we see that scene in season 2 of him like trying to help Midoriya for so long
Yep.
because he knows what it's like to not have power and to only and all of a sudden get this and not really have a full grasp on it either. Um, so and then like the lead up, like involving Shinso, involving Phantom Thief was just so brilliantly done to lure All for One out, and then like him summon the villains and what's I forget, Phantom Thief going like, haha, I'll one up you and just summon all the pros. I'm like,
Yep.
bro, that's so genius. And then to separate them into certain pods with certain heroes. And like Shoto being like telling Endeavors, like, it has to be me. It has to be me that takes down Dabi. And he's like been
Hmm.
working on his own super move, and it's like a blend of the two. It's like finally what Endeavor wanted out of his prodigy to do is like blend the two fire and ice quirks together to make perfect harmony, and it was so well done. And Dabi, like I don't know if you saw this or like caught this, but he was in basically like funeral attire because he knew this is where he was going to
Hmm.
die. So he was like, this is the final showdown. He's like, where's the old man? I want him to be a part of this, but you'll do just as fine. And like he's like he takes out all the fire heroes like from Endeavor's agency pretty much, and he's just getting hotter and hotter. Pretty much, he's pretty much like cremating his own self.
Yeah.
He's like, because this is my last hurrah. I'm going to take everyone out. And Shoto's just like, no, you're not. I'm going to stop you. And he does. But then you see a spark of it. And like it, at first you feel this elation because it's like, okay, that is wrapped up. But then you see the little spark in Dabi's chest. And it's like, is it though? Is it? And then
Yeah.
like go to Endeavor. Endeavors and Hawks are fighting All for One, and like Endeavor's going to town, and I mean like he's doing his best. Like he loses an arm, like
Hmm.
like he's just going to town on everyone just to prove a point. And he like this is where we find out All for One's another contingency plan. Like he burns All for One alive, and you're thinking, okay, it's going to have the same result. Like he's going to get stabbed through the chest, like he did with Shigaraki. And instead, like, because Hawk says, "Get back," and it's like, "Oh, here it comes." And then he's just like, the immolation starts wearing away. I'm like, what's happening? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this rewind quirk that from Airy. I'm like, when did he take? My first thought was like, what did you do to Airy? Like I was getting ready to throw
That's
hands.
all.
That's right. But then it was like they showed the quirk delete bullet. I'm like, oh, that is so genius.
Hmm.
And he uses that to break down the quirk and use that. So that's his contingency. Like he knows he's going to die, but as long as he goes to Shigaraki before he does, he's fine. But like you said, every time he takes damage, he gets younger. But then like Endeavor, and then Dabi finally comes to Endeavor and they're having their spout. And the way Todoroki, like, he works in perfect harmony with Ida to basically get there in time before Dabi explodes, and just like the whole family there trying to stop him, and basically like, look, man, you need to calm. We're here for you. We know we messed up. Like, that whole emotional dynamic was just done so well, and it finally brought that whole conflict to a head. I feel like
the acting, the music, all of that, like
yes,
the swells and getting the whole family there, not just, Shoto, but just the whole entire family,
mm-hmm.
the mom, the sister, the brother, like everybody
and
was there.
and finding out a little bit more about Dabi's backstory. Like, yeah, we know he caught the forest on fire, and we know he came back, but we didn't know like who brought them. And to find out Endeavor was, I mean, All for One was involved, and he was going to be maybe a potential suitor to be the body for Shigaraki because of his power. But then realizing it's like, not so much. His frail body can't really handle the damage that is going to be inflicted, or what I need to do to endure my ultimate goal. So he's like, he's a throwaway, but he's like, and like that was just like finding out that reveal was pretty big too.
The way that it resolves is just done so well.
Yes.
And like it, because you think it's like it's just going to be everybody's got to die. You know what I mean? And it just perfect writing, because at the same time you've got Toga and Uravity like fighting, and the whole Twice thing, like the Sad Man's Parade. That's like,
oh my, just dude, like, and again, like, to set it up, like when they're splitting them up, like Midoriya is supposed to go with Bakugo to fight Shigaraki because Deku's the only one who can handle him, and Toga, being Toga, like, now I'm gonna throw a wrench in this, and summons her to Uravity, and that whole dynamic of like, I'm gonna take both of you out, like, like I don't care what love is anymore, like, y'all are dead to me, you're just gonna put me down, and the whole fight. And then like when they get to that other, because then they all converge where All for One is originally, and they fight. And then, like you said, like when Dabi, like when she's visiting her old home, and Dabi lights it on fire, it's like, hey, this is Twice's blood. I'm like, oh no. Before he even said it, I'm like, I know where this is going. This is gonna be his contingency. It's like, if all else fails, Sad Man's Parade to regain back the numbers game. I'm like, oh my goodness. But even then, when she does it, like when she is basically like has no other option, and she's like, Uravity is trying to reason with her and trying to reach out. She's like, I don't care. Takes it, does Sad Man's Parade, and we find a little bit more because in season 5 we thought she got a quirk upgrade to where she can not only ingest blood, but she can use their quirk too. It eats through her ability faster, but she can use the quirk. But now we get a little more context, because it's like, well, because Twice can not only copy the appearance but copy the quirks too. Is like, is she going to be broken? Basically, she has to have a strong affection for someone in order to use their quirk. And when she has that realization, she's like, but Twice was my best friend. Why do I not love him enough to use, like, why can't I use the full extent of his quirk? I can use Sad Man's Parade, and it's like that realization. It's like, she doesn't know what true love is. Like, she only, because she's gotten so many mixed reviews of what it is. And like, her version of love has been repressed so much that she doesn't know how to act anymore. So, and like,
she never experienced it from her family. Like because
they treated her like a freak.
Yeah, we saw even more of that like in this season. It's like, she's a devil, she's this, that, and the other, which we saw a little bit of that before. But it's like, when you are a child and you don't experience love, you are, it just does something
to you. It's
a
product of your environment.
Yeah. And again, that's why anime is just so flipping good.
Yep.
It just did something so well, and her not knowing probably saved a lot of people's lives.
Correct.
When it really comes down to it.
Correct. And then you see when it's all going to, in a handbasket, Uravity gets a quirk upgrade, and she doesn't even have to touch the people. She just sends out like this wave, and like all the Sad Men like clones get lifted up. And she's just like trying to just buy time and save as many people as she can, because that's what her hero way is, essentially her Nindo, essentially.
Yeah.
And like Toga stabs her in the gut, like, a severe wound, like to basically like, this is where it ends. And she's just like, and then basically they have that heart to heart, and it's like, look, you matter to me. I was wrong, and you know, I'll be your friend type thing. And she's like, like asking it because one of the things was like she had that little like mischievous devilish grin growing up, and
Yeah.
everyone said, "Oh, this is a hideous," and she's like, "Do I have a pretty smile?" And Uraka says, like, "You have the prettiest one I've ever seen," and they make up. And then like Uraraka is dying. Like she has
Yeah.
lost too much blood trying to buy time to save the people and the heroes and everything. And Toga sees this and it's like, when I ingest someone's blood, I become them. I'm their blood type as well. So I'm going to save you. And gives her all her blood. And Uraraka's like, you can't. And she's like, let me do this. This is how I show my love. And like she just passes out right there, and I'm like, bro, that like I cried. I'm like, this that was
Yeah.
done so well.
Yeah, that moment, I definitely was. I was on the verge of tears, but I didn't
Yeah,
cry, which is unusual for me because
I
I
know.
cry very easily on that. But
You never.
yeah, dude, it was just so beautifully done because they've been essentially the rivals for Deku's emotion, like
Correct.
his love and everything. And seeing those two go at it and then be able to resolve their issues and become friends, and
Mhm.
then ultimately making the sacrifice for Uraka, it just was so good. And
Mhm.
I think that's the thing, like all of these little threads that have been started in various parts of the series are essentially coming, to a conclusion, and it's just done so masterfully.
Correct.
And dude, the fight with like just when Dabi shows up, Sad Man's parade's going on, like all of this, and then All Might's trying to get away and they're trying to stop him and all of this stuff. Dude, it was insane. And then, not even to mention, Hawks losing his
Quirk,
power.
dude, that was insane. Like he finally starting to get it back. It's a shell of its former self, but and then All for One's just like, yeah, this is a pesky quirk. I'll relieve you of it, like, because you're just getting in my way. And like Jiro losing an earphone jack and that whole thing, and like, and again, like, let's talk about Class 1A. Like, Shoji has a moment in that with the essentially metahumans, essentially, or like the
Mhm.
the heteromorphs.
Yep.
Um, Tokoyami gets a power up, like he's going toe to toe with
Yep.
All for One. I'm like, man, let's go. Like, so, but then like you see all then like he's all to protect his mentor, and like All for One even says like this quirk is useless. Like I'm never going to use it, but it's annoying enough for you to get in my way, so I'm going to take it from you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And like Tokoyomi's like where like it was dark and like the huge version, like that was so freaking cool.
yeah,
And the other school like coming and helping like was clutch, was
it was.
absolutely clutch. But dude, like just the thing, like we saw like moles within the school that were like sabotaging things. There were so many little things going on within the whole like season as well.
Yeah,
And like I just, the master storytelling, that's all I could say is just
yeah.
master storytelling overall in this. Are there any other things that you want to hit?
I do want to hit one more thing, and it was one that I knew, like I had saw a panel, it got spoiled for me a little bit, but it still was an emotional moment to see. Was like, and you thought he was about to go Super Saiyan, like when he realized like he reached it, like it's like with that brink of death, and like Goku, right? He
Yeah.
gets about on the brink of death, and then like a new power unlocks type thing, or he reaches a new transcendent. When Bakugo's fighting Shigaraki one on one, and they are holding, like they are pretty much doing well, like because they found Monoma is his name. Sorry,
Oh,
Phantom thing. Monoma. When Monoma and Aizawa, because Aizawa says, "Man, I got one eye that's out of commission. I'm on one leg." Like, and let's also sidebar: Mirko just doesn't care about her body. She keeps getting maimed, and
yeah.
it's like going to be pretty much just a head at this point. But
Yeah.
but but Aizawa's like, I have to be one of the keys to take down Shigaraki, but I can't do
Yeah.
it. So let's find a trick with Monoma, and is just again done so well.
I
What?
like that they brought back the dude with like the water to
I
do the
know.
same trick
Right. It's
as
like
last time.
this is the only purpose you serve. um, but no, and like to see Bakugo fight Shigaraki, but then it's like everyone's like getting their butt beat because Shigaraki unlocks another power that is not even really a quirk. It's just like how his body adapted to the stockpiling, and he's going toe to toe. And Bakugo, like you could see, he gets severely injured. I'm like, oh no. Oh no! And then he unlocks that superpower. He's like, and he keeps saying like, "Oh, he's got a deflection on his weakness on his right side." And you see him start damaging him. And it's like you think it's going to be it, and then Shigaraki says, "Enough of this," and just deals like a fatal blow to Bakugo's heart. And I'm like, and he's just like, and you see it like before he even really hits it, like you see the light flash before your eyes, and like you see Bakugo have like a childlike, because he's always this gruff, tough guy who has to be hardcore, and he's like, and at his core, he's just a fanboy like anyone else, and he's like, I had to keep you away. I had to keep Deku away because I knew you're more harm to yourself than anyone else. Like you would put everyone else before you, like, and I hated that, so I needed to keep you safe, type thing, and all this. And he's like, is it too late to ask for an autograph? He had an All Might signature card, and then it just falls next to his lifeless body. I'm like, bro, no, 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 don't do this, no, no, no. And then like you can see Ed Shot trying to revive him, and which is a dope thing to do. I hope it works out.
Yeah.
But man, like, don't toy with me like that.
That got spoiled for me probably early on when I started watching the show, that Bakugo was going to die, essentially.
Yeah.
We don't know if he comes back or not. But like when it happened, it still hit hard. You know what I mean? Like it still hit hard. I was hoping, I was like, maybe it's not right. Maybe it's not true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it was just a premonition.
But seeing Deku come in and use gear shift and just do all this crazy stuff.
I know, like seeing the last wielder of All for One, that power that we hadn't seen, and I'm like, he's like, you can't use it yet. I'm like, what is this power he's talking about? I was like, gear shift. I'm like, oh
yeah, absolutely insane. I love that we also like got to see the support core, like the side of students like working on the coffin in the sky, and then even the like the ones that are like filming and everything,
the
like
business
the business
course,
yeah, like you got to see everybody doing their part.
Yep.
And Derek, I will just say this right now, gentleman criminal.
Oh, gentle criminal, yes. I did not see that coming either. Like,
I didn't either.
La Brava going at them, like, okay, that makes sense. They need her to do this and that, and then you see Gentle, like, and then you see like when he breaks out of prison, he's the only one that prevents anyone from escaping. I'm like, this is why you be a hero, because you don't know who it impacts or whose life you will impact. And Gentle turned around a new leaf and is and bought enough time.
I feel like that arc is like one of the weirder ones, and it didn't hit as probably well as it should. But seeing both La Brava and Gentle like come back, and they are trying to make amends for what they did and everything, but like him like bouncing his way all the way there, and then like holding it up and everything, like, dude, so good. And then like La Brava like messing with the hacker dude from the
from the League of Villains, Skeptic.
Yeah, Skeptic, messing with him, and just like that was great for me. I loved every minute of that. But I think the big takeaway from this season is it definitely took from where season 6 left us, with that amazing moment with All Might and I'm blanking on dude with the sword, Stain. Like, we saw that with the statue and everything, and like challenging in him. And then we see where it goes in this season with so many amazing moments, so many characters really coming into their own, giving their all, going beyond, some would say, going plus ultra. It is so good. And I can't imagine what season 8 is going to hold for us.
I can't wait, man. Like it'll definitely go plus ultra for sure. I feel like it'll definitely make us feel some things again.
I'm ready to cry, and I'm ready to see how this all wraps up and everything, because I feel like
I'm not ready for it to end, man.
I'm not ready for it to end either, but I feel like Shigaraki and All for One are going to clash.
Oh, for sure.
You know, I feel like he's underestimating where he is on all of that, and I feel like it's going to come and bite him in the butt, which would be awesome because All for One sucks.
Yeah, he's a manipulator.
Yep. 1,000%. Well, everybody, that is our review of season 7 of My Hero Academia. Let us know what you think down in the comments below, and what are you excited to see in season 8. Don't put any spoilers if you know what's going to happen, but we'd love to hear what you think about this season. And make sure to hit the subscribe button and go over to patreon.com/nerdcave and support us over there so you get more awesome content just like this one. We'll see you next time. This has been Zach
and Derek.
God bless week. Bye-bye.